There we go. It's still a work in progress. Sometimes we forget these things. Geeta Nain is a passionate, distinguished Toastmaster and a resilient leader. She is a founder and mentor of Boiler Talks Toastmasters Club and is currently pursuing her PhD at the Earth, Atmosphere, and Planetary Sciences at Purdue University. She has a habit of learning from everything she goes through in life, and she believes introspection and leading self as the #1 skills for growth. In her 5+ years of Toastmasters, she's learned immensely and served in the capacity of VP of Education, President, Area Director, and Assistant Division Director. With this interactive session, she will be sharing her learning from some of the most crucial storms in her life and how this learning can be useful in sailing the storms in anyone else's life too. Please help me welcome DTM Geeta Nain and her presentation, Sailing Through the Storms of Life. Please give it up for Geeta. And Geeta, remember to unmute yourself too.
Can you guys see my screen?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, and Scott especially for such a wonderful introduction. As Scott mentioned, I'm going to talk about the storm and sailing through storms. So just a second, okay. Storms are unreliable. They are unpredicted and unexpected. Sailing through storms can be challenging and difficult at times, but sailing through a storm can also help you in controlling the situation. That's why sailing is important. A very good evening to all of you and my friends and everyone who is here gave me the birthday celebration wishes and ready to listen my presentation. I am, okay, okay, it seems, sure. So we are talking about sailing through storms. Why I'm so interested in this topic? Because I study storms and weather as part of my PhD research. Now you might be wondering why I'm interested in studying storms. Well, I like storms and weather because they are highly unreliable, they are unpredictable and uncertain, just like our life. And you see in storms, like storms in weather, we do see storms in our life too. And that's what makes us resilient and compassionate, and maybe some other strength we can get through these storms. So my second way of life has become through Toastmasters, as I started considering myself as a resilient and compassionate leader, because I have gone through some storms in my life, and through Toastmasters training and through sailing through these storms, this is the kind of confidence I have gotten in my life. And today I'm going to share my experience and my own sets of learning with you guys. Now, a little bit more about me, my roots. I basically come from a small village in northern India, which is around, you see, it's kind of far from the current place we live in. And approximately it takes 1 or 2 days. Now, my family, I have a sweet mom, my sweet sister, and magical moments with my family, especially when we do celebrate the birthdays and all the family events. And my 2 strong brothers, with whom I'm connected through the virtual right now. I think this has become like a global means of communication for everyone. And the kids in our family, which always makes me happy just by I mean, just by seeing their smile, you makes yourself happy and just feel like, the life is refreshed and life is energetic. Now, let me talk about extended family. Through this Toastmaster community, I have been part of Toastmaster for last 5 years now, and through this Toastmaster, I have gained so much, so precious moments, so many precious people in my life that I really can't thank enough. So whenever I go, I hope to meet my extended family as well. So they are my friends, my mentors, my colleagues, and they have all come through as a gift in my life through Toastmasters. But for unfortunately, because of Corona, and you see, I think this has become the storm in everybody's life. As you can see, we have challenges, and we are all going through the similar kind of challenges, so you all can understand how it feels. Now, as we're talking about storms, I would like to say, when we go through these challenges, storm in your personal life, when we talk about storms, it can be like a death of your beloved ones, uncertain situation, rejection from something, heartbreak, or any sorts of thing which you don't expect, but that happens. Now, how do you cope up with such challenges? It's kind of really difficult, because when you actually go through these situations, then you realize how resilient you are. If you see I mean, you won't be able to remember all the names, but here I just try to put people who are really, really precious to me. And this guy in the, like, the highlighted in red circle, I wish I could see him as well when I go back to India. He is a very special friend of mine. His name is Ashish Tejpal, and he was the one who actually introduced me to the Toastmaster. And unfortunately, I cannot meet him anymore because he is not alive. It was an accident. I saw, it was really hard to, see him, see any of your loved ones in front of you. It's really hard. I mean, no matter what learnings you share, no matter what other people are saying, but people, when they go through it, the kind of emotional turmoil they could go through it, it's really, really difficult. But these kind of experiences taught us that life is not permanent. We should not take life with guarantees. We should start doing things which we really want to do in our life, and start giving back to the society, and start exploring whatever we want to explore in this world, because we are not here for permanent basis. We all have to go one day. So these kind of questions, when I think sometimes, and now, like in Corona also, you see there are so many things happening around the world. People are uncertain, people have fear, and it's just like, what do you want to do in this kind of situation which makes you fear? So I think the ultimate truth of life, that we're gonna die someday, makes you, confident that start contributing to the society now. This is the right time. So because Toastmaster has contributed to my growth immensely, so that's why I want to share my first steps, which started in RMS Noida Toastmasters Club. It was one of the corporate club in India where I used to work. And of course, through Toastmasters, I learned so much. Like, we all can understand this experience, I guess. We start giving speeches, we start meeting new people, and with these people, we start making connections, we start sharing stuff. And when we give speeches, these introspections through speeches start giving us more self-awareness. Now, we say in Toastmaster mission that Toastmasters club mission is to provide a positive and supportive learning environment in which members are empowered to improve their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. How do we get that greater self-confidence, personal growth? I kind of have a habit of introspecting in my life, and through these meetings, I kind of understood it's not just giving speeches and improving your communication and leadership. I think we do much more than that here. Uh, in each and every speech, because we talk about ourselves, we do a lot of introspections, and this makes us aware about ourselves, our strength and our weaknesses. For me, it was a very beautiful experience because when I started giving speeches, I was not only accepting my strength, I was not only expressing myself, but I was also able to be vulnerable in front of the audience, where people could listen to me and I can express myself better. I mean, I had never had that kind of experience, because if you see, like in your school, in your college, people around you, your family, your friends, everyone, you really don't feel comfortable sharing everything you go through in your life. But through speeches, you can actually utilize that power of speeches in front of the people, and you can actually bring the best version of yourself. I think that's what is the magic of Toastmasters, where you get to do introspections through speeches, which makes you self-aware. And that self-awareness gives you knowledge about yourself. Strength makes you a more self-confident person, and weaknesses gives you opportunity to grow in your life. I frankly did not join Toastmasters for leadership, because I was mainly more interested in communication. But through this Toastmasters experience, I people could recognize the leader in me, and they kind of encouraged me to become a leader. I got to serve the area, the club, and through this experience, it was like a kind of magical experience, that you get to see that side of you which you have never thought you would see in your life ever. So I think that is the great thing about Toastmasters, that and I think the great thing happens when you start utilizing that leadership experience you get here in Toastmasters to other side of your life. So as you can see, I mean, when in Toastmasters, when I start was getting this distinguished Toastmaster award, and other Diamond Area Director award and other awards, I think these kind of awards makes you confident enough to uh, a kind of makes you confident in your ability to do something and to apply those skills somewhere else. And for me, the valuable experience was that as a leader, that when we talk about communication, it's not just about speaking, it is about listening. So the value of listening you only learn when you are on other side of the table. That makes this you see that makes you see the significance of communication in general. Art of delegation and mentorship. Initially, when you are self confident, but if you don't utilize the team you have, the people oriented skill, you can grow in yourself by art of delegation and mentorship. These are the magical skills, I would say, as a leader we get to learn in Toastmasters, and I feel so blessed that I got to go through these kind of skills. The third learning for me as a leader, which became a part of my personal growth, was understanding the power of 3 P's, which is passion, patience, and perseverance. Because I would say, like, when I joined Toastmaster, I did have some leadership qualities. Like, I was confident, I was proactive, but somehow I think I was exploring the full side of leadership, which is basically to be more humble, it's developing more interpersonal communication skills, have kind of patience. These are the critical skills, I would say, for a leader, which we can only learn by doing, as the practice of Toastmasters says. I learned through so many experiences as part of my leadership, and I think these 3 P teaches you the real values of being a leader. Now, when I was applying for my DTM, I was completing projects. I was active in completing my projects. Completing these small projects in club meetings was making me more confident in was making me more confident and was encouraging me to dream and to envision about my long-term goals. I think this is, I would say, that's why I call Toastmaster has been a very transformative experience for me, because after giving speeches and all, we really don't see, like, it's not just to improve your communication leadership. It does something in you, and you really can't see that transformative experience when you don't apply it in your life. But when you start seeing the changes in your life, start applying all of those skills in your life, that I think that's when the real magic happens. So I had a dream of doing my PhD, and I seriously, frankly, never thought about applying to PhD. I never had, I would say, the confidence of applying to PhD outside. But like after completing these projects and, you know, becoming like confident in my own skills, I started applying, and I could see, you know, the dream can happen if I plan something, if I have a strategy, if I properly I practice for it, I can really do it. And I started planning for that, and finally my dream came true when I finally got admission in 2018 August in Purdue University. Now with the this I was again so blessed and happy that, you know, when I first landed in US, there were a team of Toastmasters who came with me, because there was a district conference at that time in Chicago. Unfortunately, it was in Chicago. And so see, my Toastmasters co-elevators, my friends, were always there. So we make friends here, I would say, for life. And I think District 41, India, basically uh, I mean, I have experienced that time. I had experienced that in India only before that, but it was like a life-changing experience that these people are always there with you no matter what. Now, now this was my peak moment, I would say. But as it says, there is always a cycle to our life. We have days, so we have nights. We have um, rain and thunders, so we can have a normal weather as well. So I think there was time for me to apply all of those skills in my real life. So real life started giving me the real stuff, I would say. So I don't know how many of you are here from a different country. If you guys can just raise your hands, like, you know, just show me the thumbs up if you are from different country, or if you have ever experienced going to a different country. Okay, I see some hands raising. Interesting. So, yeah, you guys want to share anything about like coming to a new country? How was your experience, and how this experience was challenging or maybe beautiful for you guys? Anyone would like to share any experience here?
If I may, can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
My name is Moise Mapoma. I'm actually from Lusaka, Zambia in Central Africa. My father went to UCLA when I was a child. I went back to Zambia when I was 6 years old. And it's funny because even though I was born there, going back to Africa, I was treated as though I was a foreigner in my own country. I wanted to learn the local language, but everybody wanted to talk to the little Zambian kid that was more American than he was Zambian. So my dad actually tried to pay people to teach me the local language, and it didn't work. So I was a foreigner in my own country to a certain degree, and I actually ended up going to an international school where I ended up melding with a lot of the American students, and I ended up coming back to the United States. After coming back to the United States, I had an opportunity to go to school in either the United Kingdom or the United States. Because Zambia was a British colony, I said the United States. And I asked them where, and they said Kentucky. And I said, hey, it can't be that different from LA. And I ended up in the hills of Kentucky. It wasn't so much of a language difference as it was a culture shock for me. And that was a big difference, getting accustomed to the differences in culture more than anything else, coming from not only Los Angeles, Zambia, to the country of Kentucky, to the country part of Kentucky. So thank you for listening to me. Back to you.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I mean, seriously, I can really relate. Culture shock is a big shock when you come to a different country. Anyone else would like to share anything else? Being in a new country, if
So, hi, my name is Yung Bo.
mm-hmm.
I'm originally from Vietnam. I came here in late 2011. I came
Mm-hmm.
here with my husband and my little girl at the time, she was like 1 year on.
Mm-hmm.
We moved here for my husband cancer treatment. And so I can relate it to you because my husband passed away 2 years after we moved here. So I can relate it to you on the thing that you said earlier. Talk about the culture and the language difference. When I first moved here, I barely speak the language, and I come from the 90 degree on year round. Come here to the winter at 32 degree. It will hurt, right? So the culture, the language, the weather, and this is and I was a new mom as well. So it's a huge challenge to learn. I mean, I did not even know how to drive at the time as well. So it's a huge challenge to go overcome, and I actually have some hiccup along the way when you have some people kind of not more racist, but also met people that are very kind and supportive as well. So I thought moving along, I get my bachelor degree, and I'm halfway to my master degree, and I'm on a really nice job. I work for a company called Mysol, which handle electricity for the whole 15 states of the U.S. and part of Canada. I
Mm-hmm.
handle legal contract and review stuff. Now I also get a new. I just bought my real estate license as well, and I'm gonna start that new business as well. So I see that coming here as an immigrant, there's a huge challenge, but at the same time, if we work it hard, there's plenty of opportunity for us to improve and have a better life. And yes,
Yeah.
we should give it back to the community. Well, that didn't happen to you to move to where you are today.
Yeah.
So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I think you perfectly exemplified the whole cycle. Like startingly you have your honeymoon phase where you enjoy new culture, meeting new people, explore different stuff, and then there comes stress stuff because of different challenges again. Sometimes it can be the cultural shock, sometimes it can be the language or something else. And then you comes to the adjustment and then acceptance. For me, I would say I had visited this country before as well as part of my corporate visits. So language and I would say culture shock was not a that big of a deal, but yeah, I would say culture shock was bit. But more important than that, for me, it was I would say coming from that environment where you always have friends around you, you always have your family, you always have people around you, and here you are like kind of on your own. And every time it's a great thing that you get to work on your own stuff, but for me it was a shock, I would say. And somehow, because I had work, I had research, I had coursework, and I did not have any friends here to share my stuff. So it kind of, I don't know what happened, but I was just feeling this constant sense of isolation after some time, not like right away, but it was something which just like started happening. And then starting from like left side, if you say, I started having initially the sense of isolation, the loneliness, I would say, because first of all, it was my mistake that I did not get a lot of time, or like much time from my studies in school to go and join different clubs. I did not have car, and here you see, if you go to from one place to other place, you really have to drive. There's no public transport. So of course there were like couple of challenges. But then when you don't even have friends, I mean, I can't keep on talking to my family and friends because there is a time difference. So it was like, oh, what usually you talk over phone, you really can't share the stuff. So somehow I kind of ignored it for some time, because I thought, okay, because I'm working, I kept on working because I thought my primary task is to work. So I just should keep on working. I tried ignoring that side of myself, and I never had like understanding of like what and how it can impact me in a long run. But then over the period of time, I kept on working, studying, and then because I did not have a lot of friends here, I did not have any community, so I kind of start ignoring that side of me. And I also started missing the community. Like India, I know I used to join different communities, I knew the value of community, but the real value of community I got to understand here. Um, and then things started accumulating, the piles of, it's sometimes it happens, so everything starts happening at the same time. Then I had personal issues also. I started, like, I kind of had heartbreak, I had studies pressure, but then I think the real strike happens when this social isolation was taking a form of anxiety, and that anxiety was, like, part of everything, I mean, frankly speaking, it was so, like, different for me because I never was anxious in India. So initially I thought, okay, it's maybe because of my personal issues, maybe I'm having heartbreak, that's why I'm anxious. But then started taking, other forms of challenges, like, I still remember I was also having, I was also felt myself like in depression more, like I was kind of losing the passion from work. I was losing the passion from other activities. Like I didn't feel like going to other club activities. It's just like something happened all of a sudden because everything was accumulating. And then I think the still from that time, I mean, till that time also I was thinking I'm normal, everything is going so fine, because these internal stuff, this the mental issues, the health issues, you start ignoring your health, you start ignoring your food, you start ignoring your friends and community support, and then everything piles up, and then comes as a form of panic attack, or different sorts of damage which it can, it can really harm you in a very deep manner. So everything was piling up, and then so for me, I did not know the solution, like how to go about doing this stuff. But somehow when like all of a sudden, the peak point was when I actually realized that I was sitting in my room on my bed around 12 a.m. and I don't know what I was thinking. I was constantly thinking. For constant nights I was having sleepless night, and I was kind of skipping my foods, because like cooking alone and cooking and eating alone is not fun. So it's like became that kind of, so there were so many things I would say, but I realized I was sitting on my bed, and all of a sudden this, the earth started shaking, and I was shivering, I was feeling cold, and I was like, I don't know what sorts of feeling was that, but I was like, my heart was pumping so fast. And then my roommate said, "Hey Geeta, what's happening to you? You're having panic attack." I'm like, panic attack? What is that? I never heard about that. So, but over the period of time, I realized I was having panic attacks too. And see, I didn't even realize it. I didn't even know that. So because we never, like, I was never educated for that. I never knew about these kind of things. So I kind of realized these things exist when people talk about it, anxiety and depression in people. These things exist because I have also gone through it. So I think the thing I want to say from this slide is that I don't know why I was not able to share my stuff. So people, I can ask you guys, like, what do you think? Like when you have some sorts of issues, first of all, I think the problem is we don't understand whether we have a problem or not. And second, once we understand we have a problem, still we don't feel like sharing it because we think it's not a big deal, and we don't take charge of our life. We don't start taking proactive actions. So I want to know if you guys might have seen someone nearby you, or you guys might have gone through it, and if you see this feeling of people not sharing it, what do you guys think is the main source or reason why people don't share these stuff? Anyone has any thought on that, or like anyone might have gone through? I think it should be like an open communication where people feel there should. Why do people feel of having like feeling of being judged and stuff? Because these are the things which happens with everyone. So
yeah, yes, I think that one of the reasons why people will not want to share it is because they are afraid, they feel ashamed, they feel they will be rejected. Just the humiliation that they will feel when people know that this is exactly how they are feeling. until somebody else sees what the problem is and then help them out. I think that's what the problem is.
Sure. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely. So it's like, for me, I was seriously, for me, the case was like, I didn't even know that I'm having this. I was having some issues, but I was like, this is just like very personal to me. And I don't think I need to share it with everyone. But I kind of started sharing it with my friends, my family, and then, you know, my close friends. And I kind of realized when you share it with people, people try to understand you irrespective of if they have gone through the same experience or not, but they listen you, they try to understand you, they try to come up with the solution for you. This is very strange, you know, like what we think, okay, we'll be judged if we share these things with people, but it's completely opposite what happens in reality. People do welcome these thoughts, people do listen to you. And then so for me, I think identification of the problem, that I have a problem, was the first step for me to find the solution. And the moment I realized I'm having panic attacks, I was having problems, I kind of realized that this is a problem I have and I need to solve it. So I need to take the responsibility of my life, and I will do whatever it takes me to improve it, because I'm not going to let myself go away like that. Then I started taking proactive action. So whatever I was reading through articles, I was reading books, I was watching, you know, YouTube TEDx talks and things like that. So the first solution came in my mind, okay, I should do yoga. So I tried different yoga, you know, the sessions in my competitive campus. So I tried all of them, and I found one very useful. It was Sky Happiness Retreat. So they teach yoga and the basic stuff. I kind of find it useful, but like, it's like when you are doing it and you have some thinking, you keep on doing it, but after some time you again come back to the same position. So it's not like a 1-day practice or 2-day practice. It's basically a way of life. So when you inculcate that in your culture, that's how you start becoming more and more resilient. So for me, the key learning was, so it's like when something starts happening to you and something really starts helping you, you want to go ahead in that life. So I have a habit of introspecting, and after that reaching, you know, to the steps, so that I can reach to the higher stage and I can understand what exactly it is giving me at the end. So through these meditation practices from the college level, I started exploring other, you know, courses as well. It was basically, I went to Boone in December. This was Art of Living. This was a silence course. It was basically like you have to be silent for 3 days and do not speak anything. So it will be like you will see yourself as a third person, and you will understand whatever is happening. So through this practice, I'm really glad that I had that kind of experience, because I learned something out of it. And I think the best learning I got from this experience is that silence is the key. Because when we are silent, we want to introspect ourselves. I think the same message comes, when the same message comes to you from different sources, you start believing it more and more. What I learned in Toastmaster, that through introspections, you learn about yourself. When you are silent and you give yourself break, like a pause we give in our speeches, so that break is needed in our life, and that break can be given to you when you meditate or when you take some pause from your life. So it's a kind of uh, silence break you take from your life, and you try to introspect your life. What went wrong? How can you improve? And how can you understand what's going on? So it was a beautiful experience, silence retreat at Boone, and we had a lot of people there, but we could not communicate. But it was just so amazing to see, like, people are there for a reason, and we are learning from each other, and most importantly from us. So I think the important experience I got after observing myself in a silence mode for 3 days was, I just got only one message from my mind. Because imagine, like, you are eating, you are sleeping, you're doing everything, but you're not talking, you're not receiving feedback from anyone, people are not commenting on you, you can't even make eye contact, because sometimes we give feedback to each other through eye contact as well. So you're just in your own shell, and I think the source of problem comes when we don't get the correct feedback, when we don't receive the stuff we really want in our life. So it's like, okay, you are on Facebook, social media. Why social media is becoming one of the cause of anxiety and depression? Because you see all sorts of things. I mean, sometimes you don't even want to see, you don't want to feed yourself with those thoughts, but you have to feed it because it's just going and you're just scrolling. You're not putting any filter in your mind. But when you are consciously silent and you're just observing yourself, you just get to see your thoughts as a third person. So it's really magical. I think sometimes if you guys want to experience, just experience it. Like, just observe your thoughts as a third person. Like, you can't imagine, like, from the day to night, how many thoughts do we have in a day, and they keep on changing, revolving and contradicting each other, and then they become something else. So it's a kind of great, I think, the exercise to see in ourselves how like basically the introspection. That's why I always say introspection is a key of self growth. So I just got only one message in my mind, is that whatever gift I have, I just want to serve using those gifts. I want to just utilize it for the people service. And that's what the main message, it was hitting me so hard in my head. That was the only thing I wanted to do at that time, nothing else. And that gives me like a pleasure and patience, and the feeling of being a compassionate leader, that I am here to give the gift which is given by God to me. So and when you understand your purpose, the vision of your life, the higher purpose of your life, then you start making plan for it. So I think the first thing starts with self leadership. No matter what you do in your life, no matter what you plan in your life, everything starts with self leadership. They say that if you really want to lead someone else, you first start it with yourself. Like, all the good great leaders spend 40% of their time in leading themselves. They try every possible effort and every possible thing to make the best version of them, to become the best version of themselves, so that they can lead others. So the first thing, these are my learnings I learned from this experience, like, take responsibilities of your life, and because this is your responsibility to improve your life, nobody else is going to take that responsibility. So once you take these responsibilities, you start knowing your worth, the value of your time, the value of your energy. Because I think we only have two resources to balance everything in your life. It's time and energy. How do you use your time and energy? What do you want in your life, and how you want to put everything on the one focus and just try your level best to do it. So be on the driver's seat, not on the victim seat. Because I think it's a completely change of mind when we change our seat from a victim seat to driver seat, is that you are responsible for your situation. No matter how bad your situation is right now, whether it's mental health or social, you have to take the responsibility and you have to do it. So, and then try new things, because once you get the confidence about yourself, you start taking responsibility for yourself, then you get the confidence of trying new things. You cannot try new things if you're not confident about yourself, if you don't want to challenge yourself, right? Coming out from your comfort zone, trying new things is itself was a good challenge, great challenge. So why do we need to try new things? Because when you try new things, you learn a different side of you. You become someone else. You kind of grow with that kind of, sometimes we say, I am already frustrated in my life. Why do I have to serve other people? Why do I have to take care of other people? So it's a kind of thing. But what I learned from this experience is that when you try new things, it is always a great experience. So we should never say no to this kind of experience, because this brings the best in you, because you put yourself in service of others. So I tried a couple of new things. I kind of started serving at my, Purdue campus, like different clubs. I started going to different clubs. It was, so I took the responsibility of my life and I started analyzing. It was me who was keeping myself away from everything else, from all the fun, from all the activities, from all the things I could do in my life. I had different clubs at Purdue campus. I could go to them, and I started having potlucks, gatherings at my house, people's house. I kind of became a president of one or two student activity organization here. I started, helping people in their events. I started trying yoga every day. And I think the yoga and meditation has become a part of my life now, because It's like a morning culture. When you start your day, it's basically gives you a break from the yesterday what happened to the new day you're gonna start. It's a kind of break you get in your life. At the same time, when you are working on yourself and you are serving others, it's also very, very, very important to celebrate yourself, celebrate with your people, whatever stuff you want to do in your life. It's very important, because we often neglect this aspect of our life. We think it's not important because we just want to work, we just want to get stuff, we want to grow, we want to get success, we want to get money, we just always want to desire for getting things, not taking a pause and celebrating ourselves. So I think this is also very important, and we really consciously should take effort in celebrating ourselves. Start inculcating your habits and working on them, and then celebrating yourself. Educate yourself and share it with others. It takes challenge. Like right now, on my birthday, why I'm giving this speech to you guys. I could celebrate my birthday. I could have fun, other fun stuff, but it's always I think what you know and you think this can help other people, it's always a good practice to do it. So I took a couple of these challenges to educate myself and share it with other people, and I think this always helped me. So I would encourage being a leader, and as a Toastmaster, we all are leader. We should take these proactive actions of educating ourselves more and more and share it with others, and be more involved with people and share it with people. And this is, I think, the magical thing which I found as a part of Toastmasters, and then the yoga club and the other leadership club, I would say. It's like when you meet a lot of people and you really understand that you are a people oriented person, that you don't just talk to people, you don't just communicate and help people, you basically become co-elevators. You don't just need mentors. Like mentors, sometimes, like when you keep on asking mentors about feedback and stuff, it becomes exhaustive for mentor also. So I saw, as part of Toastmaster practice, we are not just mentoring people, like, because I became a mentor as well. So like, we are not just mentoring, we are co-elevating each other's. My mentor always says to me that, Geeta, you have become my source of inspiration. Like, you are educating me as well. You're trying new things I have never tried, and I'm learning from you. So we learn from each other. I think as part of this practice, what I enjoy, I really love talking to people, and I just find it very interesting that people are ready to support and help each other. They are ready to become co-elevator for each other. So this term is really, I think, I am really enjoying it as a part of my personal growth, because now I started making deeper connections with people, great friends, and the celebrations, the kind of celebration I have now and the connections I have with people, it's really magical. And I think that's when we understand the real value of all the skills we have. I think that's the test of us, and then how do we put it into perspectives and how do we put it in our real life. And it all comes down to one thing at the end, if you really realize, I think it's self-love. Once you start having the relationship with yourself, we have difficult situations, we are in difficult situations, but you have to accept who is gonna tackle and handle this situation. It's you. If difficult situation is around you and you feel it's a difficult situation, who is going to solve it? You. So you really need to take care of yourself, like anything. Like, consider yourself as, I mean, I usually give this analogy. It's like how our mother takes care of us. Like, if you say to your mother or your dad, like, I am not feeling well, I need food, I need to sleep, they are always there to help you. So consider yourself, you have a child within you, you are a mother of your child, and you are a parent of your child. So how do you nurture your child? The same way you need to nurture yourself. It's very, very, very important. And I think this learning is such a transformative experience for me, because once I realized the value of me and once I discovered the self-love in me, it just changed my perspective about everything around me. Because this self-love makes you feel alive, even when you are alone. It makes you see beautiful things around you, even in the clouds when you are traveling on the flight. It makes you enjoy yourself when you are just sitting at the side of some corner and you are just doing meditation there. I mean, no matter where you go, you find beauty everywhere you go. So for example, this one, like nowadays, what I do usually, I go to, am I right on my time? I think I'm just about to close. So these are the kind of beautiful things you see when you really discover the self-love within you. So recent thing, I sometimes enjoy doing this stuff also, makes you feel alive. I'm not sure if you guys are able to hear it.
I think this is called the joy of life. Look at these ducks. They're so calm and at peace. They're enjoying their lives to the fullest. Look at this friendly conversation with each other. They are just drinking water. At the same time, they are playing with water. So it's not just their need they are fulfilling right now. It's the pleasure which they are getting from the life. I think this is what we call joy. We are not here just to fulfill our needs. We are here to enjoy our life. Like these ducks. Look at these ducks. These ducks. Oh my God, see? Can you imagine your life like them? Free from life, drowning in water. The same water which is required for them to fulfill their need. The same resources we get in our life to fulfill the need of our life. Can we enjoy the same resource which we seek to fulfill our need? Is it possible to enjoy our life when we are living at the same time?
So, I mean, the point of sharing my learning with you guys is to just make you feel and realize that we all are unique, we all are special, we all are valued, we all should appreciate the skills and stuff we have inside. We should start celebrating that with our self-love. So these are my learnings from this presentation, and I would love to take any question right now, and any discussion or any feedback or any suggestions or any experience you guys want to share with me. These are my learnings, but I am sure most of you might have related with these already. And if you have any other things to add or share, just feel free to do so. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for listening.
Geeta, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Everyone, give it up for Geeta, the birthday girl tonight, for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
A couple minutes left. Who has questions? Anything you would like to ask Geeta for her presentation tonight? Any comments, any questions? All right.
I'd like to share a little bit. As an international student who also pursue a PhD degree in the US, I really resonate what Geeta talked about, the culture shock, the acceptance of the stress, and also I appreciate Geeta for sharing the wonderful tips of feeling alive by doing yoga and also joining Toastmaster to develop all kinds of skills, because the moment you notice your emotion and you can actually identify the emotion and set aside from your pursuing, that's the most important. That you feel something or you feel stressful is not because of you, it's only the emotion part, and then you can carry on from what you want to achieve by incorporating those skills. So great sharing, Geeta. I really appreciate. I learned a lot of skills and I might try yoga more. Currently, I really enjoy cardio dance. It's hip hop, and that's one way for myself to get relaxed and feel alive. And Notre Dame has a lake that I like to run along and see those ducks. So I can totally echo all of you said. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Geeta, I will add two things to your presentation. First, I am also trying to practice yoga, and I will tell you this, that as a fat guy doing yoga, nothing is funnier than if you ever get to watch somebody overweight trying to do yoga. The amount that I fall over and the amount that I fail at, I should be on YouTube right now, because it is, I laugh at myself. It is hysterical. If you ever get it, yeah, it's funny. So don't feel bad if you haven't ever tried yoga before. Laughing at yourself is part of the experience. And if you get winded tying your shoes like I do, then yoga is something that you need. The second thing is, this is my, the house we live in now is the 43rd house I've lived in my life. This is my 3rd district in 4 years. This is our, I think, 7th house in 4 years. I move a lot. We've moved a lot over the course of our life for careers. It's not just international students that sometimes feel lost. When we moved to Indiana, a year later, we got a pandemic. So it's an interesting experience that it's not just international folks that sometimes feel lost and alone and isolated and those things. It can happen to all of us. It can happen to anybody out there. So if you find yourself in this situation, pick up the phone and give somebody a call. Go out and make a friend somewhere. Just don't be alone. That's the most important thing, is don't let yourself be alone. Wonderful message tonight, Geeta. Thank you so very much. Everyone still here, please get up for Geeta again. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely, absolutely loved it. We're going to hit, I forgot to hit stop recording.